Hello friends, I'm here to share with you some more of my 2024 wrap-ups. Since I can't really remember what I read, like the details of what I read last year, I'm going to go ahead and do shorter reviews and try to do March and April in the same video. Try to do 2 months going forward. There's a blanket underneath me because it's freezing. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with March. So first up is The Secret Fiancé by Katarina Mara. This is her gorgeous signing editions. This one is Lex and Raya's story. This whole series is basically billionaire arranged marriages. And in this one, he knows that they're going to be set to be arranged, but she doesn't. So he becomes her professor or boss or something like that. But yeah, billionaire arranged marriage. I gave it 4 stars. See, we're gonna try to be quick. I don't know how well it's gonna work on some of them, but we're gonna try. Next up is Where We Belong by Ashley Munoz. This is book 2 in her Stone Riders MC series. This one's a motorcycle club romance. It's a little enemies to lovers. The main female character moves to town because her best friend was the main character in book 1. And so she moves there to be with her friend. And falls for another member of the motorcycle club. They don't really get along, but it's basically him trying to preserve his feelings to protect her. I ended up giving Where We Belong 5 stars. I really loved this one. After that was American King by Sierra Simone. I've already talked about that in that whole series in my February wrap up. Go there if you want to know my feelings. We're not going to bring this video down. After that was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This one is an arranged marriage of convenience between a vampire and a werewolf. I wrote down in my reading journal 5 stars, but I rated it on Goodreads as a 4 star. So I think in the moment it was one of those where like I think I listened to it all at once, like without stopping. I was able to get the audiobook from my library, so I think I listened to it all at one time, and it was just one of those things where I was like, you know what, I consumed this so fast it had to have been a 5 star. But then when I sat on it a little bit and rated it on Goodreads, it was a 4 star. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think it was like an all-time favorite. Next up was Frayed by Laura Pavlov. This is, I believe, book 1 in her Willow Springs series. The series is more of like a, not really a YA, but more of like a younger aged. So this one takes place majority in high school. Kind of the town good girl, bad boy, but not really. And yeah, I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I had a little bingo board thing going that I like used prompts off of Instagram, but I created like where they went by myself, and it was romances that feel cozy. So there you go. After that, I read Downforce by Hannah Lily. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This is a Formula One romance. Since like the pandemic and the lockdown and everything, I got really into Formula One thanks to Drive to Survive on Netflix. And I'm still looking for a really good Formula One romance. I've read quite a few, and the only one that I really like absolutely loved that I think would be a favorite is Redeemed, book 4 in the Lauren Asher Formula One series. And it doesn't really have a lot to do with Formula One. So I'm still looking for one that has a lot to do with the racing and with the season that I really love. I love travel, so you think I'd like that, but I haven't found one yet. So Downforce, I gave 4 stars. Next up was Dust Storm by Maggie Gates. This is book 1 in the Griffith Brothers series. I don't remember if I've continued on with this series. I feel like I should though. So I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This is a small town, kind of not on Spice level, but on like content Hallmarky, where like the big city woman comes to the small town for work, and she ends up, I think she's I don't know if it's some type of development company that wants to buy the land from the brothers or whatever. But basically, she moves into their house. She starts seeing their like operation for the ranch or whatever. And yeah, her and one of the brothers fall in love. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. I don't remember if I've continued, but I need to. After that, it looks like I finished the Willow Spring series by Laura Pavlov. Book 2, Tangled, I gave 4 stars. Book 3, Charmed, I gave 4 stars. Book 4, Sealed, I gave 4 stars. And book 5, Claimed, I gave 4 stars. Like I said, they're all small town. That's primarily what Laura Pavlov writes. This one, it starts off when they're younger. I think there's a second chance romance where it's high school and then they move on to college and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't really remember the details of each individual one. Probably shouldn't have read them back to back like that. Next up, I read Until You by Katharina Mora. This one is Aria and Grayson. I believe Grayson is the brother's best friend, and due to work or due to breaking up with her boyfriend or something, she moves in with him, and then feelings form from there. I gave this one 3 stars. After that was Through the Storm by Beverly Jenkins. That's right. This is in her Levesque series. This one is kind of a picked fiance. The main male character needs to get married for his inheritance, and the woman that his mother ends up picking is a former slave who he had kind of a run-in with, who like kind of broke his trust, and so he's got to build it all back up. This is 4 stars in my journal, but I really feel like this series was 5 stars. So I don't remember exactly what I rated it, but very highly recommended, especially if you like historicals, especially if you like Beverly Jenkins. After that was Silent Chaos by Nikki Ash. I still need to read more Nikki Ash because I really enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it 4 stars. This one is a like second chance rock star romance. I believe there's the whole series of rock star romances. But yeah, I need to pick up more. After that was Pretty Rings and Broken Things by Kat Singleton, book 2 in her Black Tie Billionaire series. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This one is another kind of arranged marriage. The main characters, their fathers own like rival businesses, and due to some PR things, they need to kind of merge and come together. So they decide to like make their children get married. Yeah, I gave 4 stars. And I also read Winds of the Storm by Beverly Jenkins. This is book 2 in that Levesque series. This one is another brother and I don't know how to just like, it calls her a former spy. She's like helped slaves escape before. And how like their story. I love this one. Also gave it 5 stars. I have that written down. Definitely remember giving this one 5 stars. And then for March, I also read 3 books in Laura Pavlov's Cottonwood Cove series. Book 1 is Into the Tide. This one, Best Friend's Little Sister, Home for the Summer. Book 2 is Under the Stars. New assistant is All Smiles and Sunshine, and she's about to set fire to my cold, grumpy heart. I gave both of these 4 stars. I also read book 3, On the Shore. I don't have it, or I can't get to it, or something. I don't know. Which is a NFL player and the reporter that's kind of had some bad things to say about him, and it's forced proximity because they're forced together to work together for being in the small town for the summer. So moving on to April, I also started April with the Cottonwood Cove series. Book 4, Before the Sunset, is a fake relationship between 2 best friends. He's an actor and she is trying to like show her ex that she's moved on. I gave that one 4 stars. And then book 5, After the Sunset, Grumpy Single Dad, and she's the one who got away. I gave that one 5 stars. I read I'm assuming it's pronounced La Cara duet by Jody Larson. Book 1, Her Royal Fling, and book 2, His Royal Plan. These are basically The Prince and Me in like book form. The prince comes to America. I think he's like on a bachelor trip for one of his friends or whatever. Meets a waitress. She like takes him around town and they have a like hookup or whatever. And then he goes back to his country. He invites her in book 2. Basically, The Prince and Me. I ended up giving this whole series 3 stars. After that, I read Captured by Beverly Jenkins. This one is also a Levesque story. I ended up giving this one 3. It's like a piratey romance. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I did enjoy it. Maybe it's a 4 star, but it after the first 2, yeah, I did enjoy it. It was fine. I didn't dislike it. I didn't want to DNF it, but it just wasn't better than the other 2. Then I read When It Rains by Montana Fire. This is book 1 in the Frost Industries. The main male character and his family run the Frost Industries. It's their like family business. He is a billionaire, and I forget how he meets this woman, but basically her and her father run this like shelter, and the main male character like decides to like make her his. It was supposed to be like a darker romance. It says that they walk the fine line between high society and the Chicago underworld. I didn't really feel like it was like super dark. I felt like it was a billionaire romance. What did I give that one? I gave that one 4 stars. After that, I read Dr. Grant by Katarina Mora. This one, the main female character is an inventor, and she has decided to invent self-pleasuring toys. And in the process of testing her own self-pleasuring toys, one gets stuck. So she has to go to a doctor, but she can't go to like her family doctor because her family is very like well-to-do. And so she goes to the campus doctor, which turns out to be Dr. Grant. I gave this one 5 stars. This one was very good. Her family like runs or owns or started the university or whatever, so like her family is his boss. She's a student, he's a doctor. Like, it's a whole forbidden. I gave it 5 stars. After that, I read The King by Gentleman Rogues, The King by Nana Malone. This one is, if you've seen like, what's it called? The Kingsman? With Colin Firth and Taron, whatever his name is. This kind of this. Like, it's kind of a secret society spy situation. And the main female character's family, like, runs the school that trains them. And then one of the newer recruits shows up, and it's this guy that she hooked up with who doesn't seem to remember her. And she thinks that she's, like, being ghosted or whatever, but he, like, literally can't remember her. I gave some 4 stars. Loved it. I've loved a lot in the series since then, so definitely highly recommend. After that was Through the Glen by Samantha Young. This is in her Highland series. This one is Theo and Sarah. Theo is a screenwriter, producer, and Sarah is, to the world, she's just a housekeeper at the Ardnach estate, but she has actually written one of the, like, very well selling, I think it's like a YA series. And so once they meet, they're very like opposites, and neither of them really see the other in that like romantic light, but they start working together to turn her book series into a TV series or a movie. And so it's that forced proximity. I think they go to like some little cottage together, and yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. I read 2 books in Roxy Noir's, what's it called, Wildwood Society. Book 1 is The 1 Month Boyfriend. This is a fake dating. And then book 2 is The 2 Week Roommate. That's kind of like a snowed in forced proximity situation. I gave both of them 5 stars. Loved them both so far. I need to check and see if book 3 is out. I don't think it is yet. I think it got pushed back. I read Filthy Rich Vampire by Geneva Lee. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a vampire and a human woman. It was fine. It kept me interested. I did continue on with the series later, but it wasn't like, wow, amazing. After that was Professor Astor by Katarina Mora. This one is, I think it was, they had a hookup when he was like going through his divorce. And then he and his children moved back to the town where that hookup happened. He was like visiting. And then the woman he had a hookup with turns out to be a student and has been hired to be his children's nanny. So, professor student, boss nanny, hookup turned bore, single dad, all that kind of stuff. I gave it some 3 stars. I think this one didn't wow me after Dr. Grant. I think I noticed that a lot. I read a lot of series like back to back in 2024, and I noticed that a lot. Once I had like a favorite, the ones after that, because I was reading them back to back, I think I was just comparing, and it wasn't really fair to some of the books, I don't think. But after that was Just This Once by Lena Hendricks. This is in her King series. This one is Whip King. He's a firefighter. He kind of has a one-night stand with this woman that's new in town. And then after that, they learned that she is his boss's daughter. So they try to stay away from each other. Doesn't really work. I gave some 4 stars. Next was 10 Signs You Need to Grovel by Kelly Siskind. I don't know how to say her name. I also need to continue on with this series. I don't think I ever did after this one. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This series is about a family of brothers who, when they were teenagers, they had to go into witness protection due to their father. And now they are out and kind of trying to figure out how to blend their old lives with their new lives. So this is book 2. After the brother in book 1 goes home, finds like his high school sweetheart, and they get back together, this one's high school sweetheart shows up and tells him that she had a child with him and was unable to tell him. So I think the kid is like 10 now or something. So this is a second chance. It's got to do a lot with the trauma of, he was kind of like the town golden boy, and then once everything was taken away from him, he couldn't like go to law school like he wanted to. He couldn't marry her like he wanted to. So he basically like, nothing in his life went the way that he planned for it to, and so it's a lot of dealing with that. Like I said, I gave this 4 stars. Stack is getting a little tall. That's okay, I don't have any of the other ones. So, next was Wild Scottish Night by Trisha O'Malley. This is book 1 in the Enchanted Highlands series. This one is an opposites attract. The American main female character inherits this castle in Scotland, so she goes there and she meets all the people who've been taking care of it. It's a little bit of a magical realism story. It does have a little bit of lore into it, but overall I gave it 3 stars because I felt like I was more interested in that side of it, the magical side of it, than I was the relationship, and I didn't even want to continue on with the series to find out what happened with the magic. So definitely I didn't care about the relationships. So gave it 3 stars. Next up was Take Me at Midnight by Amy Oliveira. This is a short little New Year's novella. It's a workplace romance. I think it was like a boss. No, I don't think they were boss employee. I think they were just like office rivals. It's super steamy. Super short. Like I said, it's a novella. I gave it 3 stars. After that was Her Greatest Mistake by Hannah Cohen. This is Greatest Love book number 1. This one is a hockey romance. The main male character is in the NHL. He's had some bad press. They're trying to work out like contracts and stuff like that. And he ends up having to like fake date his ex. I don't know if they were ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, or if they were just friends. But basically like their friendship or relationship or whatever didn't end well, and he felt like she betrayed him. And then they have to fake date, and now they're back together. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. So that is all I have for March and April. Let me know if you liked this 2 months in one thing. I think I am going to continue doing it just because it seems a little bit easier than trying to remember all of the details. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!